This is actually the first time I've taken the car out on a proper drive with temporary registration plates because I wanted to give it a good shakedown before doing the actual MOT. And I can use those for 24 hours, meaning I still have 14 hours left. And I thought it would be nice to actually test the bed and all of those features somewhere else than the parking lot outside of the garage. But I've also decided I'm not going to fully kit out this car. I'm going to have it kind of simple. Both because I need something lightweight because of the small engine. I need something cheap because I blew the budget building the car, which never really was the plan to begin with. And the car also screams simple, so I didn't want something super bulky or expensive or fancy in a car made 51 years ago, made out of thin alloy plates. So I'm keeping it simple. And so far, today, I've driven almost 100 miles. So this is a tiny celebration that the car is done and most likely not going to blow up. And also this is a kind of improvised little trip, so I haven't I haven't sorted out a good and functional system for the bedding and all of those things inside of the car now. But I have made a bed platform that I'm actually kind of stoked to show you. Because as you might be able to tell, the car is quite short. So I've made a platform in the back of the car. And I also have this one, which is removable on some hinges. And all of the weight of that is resting on the hinges as well as some straps at the front. And I also have this 3-piece mattress. Making this a kind of full-size bed actually. It's 190 times 70 centimeters. And I'm 185 or something, so this is more than enough. And I can obviously use the bed both ways, but if I feel like having my head up here, I can actually adjust this into a proper reading position or working on the laptop. Okay. And something else I really wanted to have without adding the full weight and cost of a proper awning was a very cheap and very simple tarp setup to shade from the sun and the rain, obviously. So instead of having a heavy and expensive thing up here, I bought these cheap ass tarps from eBay in the right size, so they fit at the side of the car and they also fit at the back of the car. And I can actually install these in a few different ways, obviously with the legs on the ground using guy lines, but I can also install it like this, and if it's not too much wind, this is okay as it is. I can obviously have a strap from this going to one of the wheels or hook them on one of these loops. And they are actually standing quite solidly, just resting on the roof rack. But this was not planned, this was just a lucky mistake. And on the back of the car I followed the same style as the rest of the build, especially at the end of the build where I ran out of money. So I've done this as simple, cheap and lightweight as possible. So I took the original floor from the car, full of holes and marks and stuff, and I added a small section for like a kettle or something. And I will just use this to access bags and boxes and stuff further underneath the bed, because I realized how little I actually used these big, heavy, lumpy drawers I had in the Discovery. And for a while now, I've been kind of finished with the build mentally, but now things are looking like I'm actually finished physically with the build as well. Especially now that I've decided to keep the car kind of simple and travel with it as it is, and just upgrade stuff on the go. Sleeping in household beddings in a tiny car like this isn't really what I prefer, but since it's just a test, it doesn't really bother me that much. I also have made some blinds for all of the windows in cotton canvas, and it looks kind of silly now because it's been rolled up, but with all of these rolled down it's possible to sleep inside of the car without being as much on display, since the car is not tinted at all. And this isn't something I've just done at the back of the car, I also have them at the front, but these are just temporarily fixed with clamps, as well as a small magnet at the front. But you do kind of get the idea behind them. And I also made some for the windshield, but these are even more so temporarily fixed as of now, just with some magnets, but I do have a plan. And also a quick side note, everything you see now is not written in stone and fixed forever. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it as it is now for a year, 10 years, or a week. But I'm going to start traveling with it as it is, and I'm just going to upgrade and change stuff along the way. It's a lot easier deciding what you actually need if you do it that way, in comparison to just buying a bunch of stuff and throwing it inside of the car, like I did with the Discovery. The kitchen setup is also something I've decided to keep quite simple, because it is very easy to bring a lot of stuff, and personally I feel like I don't really use that much of the gear I bring whenever I fully load a car. And when I started traveling and hiking, I was actually traveling with a tent and a backpack for a while before even starting traveling with a car. So just having a car is a huge upgrade for me in comparison to just roughing it with a backpack. And you also have to keep in mind how different it is traveling with a car full time in, let's say, Norway in comparison to Australia, because there's only a couple of days each week where it's enjoyable making food outside in Norway, and half of the year it's not enjoyable at all. Whilst with a lot of other countries you can make food outside at the back of the car most nights. And this is kind of easily forgotten if you kid out a car traveling in the Arctic, because a lot of the time you just feel like boiling some water and having mashed potatoes in the back of the car without having a luxury meal at the back of the car. The only thing I really need to upgrade as fast as possible with the car is a huge battery pack, because I need to be able to edit videos, I need to be able to have lighting and also run the heater. But apart from that, I can live quite simple. But don't get me wrong, I'm not going to travel as simple as I do today. For example, I'm not going to cook with a wooden fork. And something else I really want to have is a portable fold-out aluminium table, so I can have it behind the car. So I have two different work sections, because if I cook here, it's nice to have a different place to chop food and stuff like that. But it's also something which is very easy to find, so I guess that's not going to be too hard. But I do promise it's not going to be this rough when I'm traveling full-time now, because I have a vision that I'm going to make a lot of food out of the car. I'm going to do a lot of hikes, I'm going to film a lot of car stuff. The main difference is I'm going to have less stuff and also travel a lot slower, but see more places. So it's a win-win for everyone, I think. And all of this is, as you can tell, not really a thought out or epic trip. It's just me testing the car, testing the bed. So I might as well enjoy a last cup of coffee, the last rays of sun. And as soon as the sun goes down, I'll hop into the bed, watch a movie, or listen to like an audiobook or something, and go to bed really early, because tomorrow morning I need to drive off as soon as I wake up, basically, because the temporary registration is running out like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I think I'll wake up at like 6 o'clock, make coffee, hope that the car is still functional, and get back to the garage to finish all of the last things. It might look kind of silly drinking coffee this late, but just try to Google the average consumption of coffee in Norway and it won't give you any answers, but you'll see that I'm not the only one. In real life conditions, I think I will climb from the driver's seat and into the bed because I can leave my shoes in the footwell and the opposite. But I can also get in from this door, I can get in from the back. I can reach all of the opening windows, I can reach the air flaps, I can reach the roof air flaps from the bed. And the only thing I actually need to be able to sleep is privacy and being able to lie flat. So I actually think I'm going to be a lot more comfortable sleeping and traveling out of this because in comparison to the Discovery, that is. Because in the Discovery the bed was like 170 or something with a wall behind the driver's seat. And even though this is a tiny car, there's a lot of air inside of the car and all of the walls are straight, the roof is straight. The only thing I'm doing differently up here in the bed is adding some sort of net in the roof so I can put up the sleeping bag and pillow and some jackets maybe, but you know what? I'll cover up the blinds now and watch a movie. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. It's currently 6:40, so I don't really have that much time before the car needs to be back at the garage with the temporary license. And since it's been at least less than 0 degrees tonight, I would like to turn on the car and just make sure that everything works. So everything I'm getting now is instant coffee. I'm not really that picky, so it's okay. I can't really say I slept surprisingly well because I tend to sleep well no matter where I sleep, but I slept well. And there is quite a large descent down to the main road, so I'll fire this up and try to get some heat in the engine and in my hands. So since it's so cold, I'll start with some choke and see how it goes. Okay, less choke. Never mind, more choke. So there we go, currently running with some choke, just letting it heat up a bit. Most likely going to smoke. A little more petrol than air. Smells like a race car. Before getting to the garage, I'll try to squeeze in a fuel stop. Maybe also stop by a bakery or a grocery store. Get some breakfast. The engine is still kind of cold. I'm just going to turn it around. So if it almost stalls or something, it's not because of me, it's because of the car. No trash left behind. There's even no oil stains left behind. For now. Sounded like one of the brakes was hanging on when I was reversing. And that's one of the things I'm trying to test on this little ride. Making sure that all of the brakes are adjusted somewhat correctly. So whilst the engine is warming up, I'm just lurking down, just rolling on the gears, haven't really touched the brakes yet. So now we're back on the main road. Brakes does not get warm. The engine is running fine. But now I'll put on my headset because it's going to be a lot more loud. I'll go get some gas and then head back to the garage.